Today on Trottie Golf, we have one of the hottest prospects in the game joining us. Ball speed bomber, UCLA alumni, Mason Greene. Look at that. So I've got you going over the blue flag. So you're probably hitting this club quite good.
Yeah.
And that's because path. And
I mean, long irons have all been pretty good.
So if we look at that one, I mean, attack angle down 5, path 2.5 left with the face 2.3 right to the path. So it's exactly what we're saying. So just, again, when I got to the top here, I don't want to overcomplicate things. Basically, I'm telling you, you're working on the right stuff. If I'm fitting a driver for this, it's going to be slightly different than if I'm fitting it for what you're working towards.
Yeah. Well, I'm working towards a little bit
less of that, basically.
Of that, yeah.
Now, it's important we have that conversation because they're two different fits.
Yeah.
And I'm cool to not see much stuff move here.
Okay.
Because you've got to play, but you can see straight.
This is like.
Were you trying to put a different path on that?
No, I just aimed a little bit more left.
Okay. But it wasn't as steep as the shot before.
Okay.
So the point I'm trying to feel, where are you going the next few weeks, months, driver, and then how do I ensure in 6 months, because you clearly like your equipment to be, and that's what I love about it. Everything, the grips are worn, all the clubs are right. You've already quoted me about the golf ball. You've already talked about the combo set. We've already covered the gapping between the mini driver and the 3-iron. Everything's mint. You do not need me to mess this up. It's like, that's key here. But you have to understand, if you get to a tournament and it's squirrely, this will help you.
Yeah.
But that's where that mini driver is going to be so great.
Yeah, and that's kind of why I switched to it. I mean,
because the shaft's quite short in that mini driver, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a 5-wood shaft, the 5-wood that I was using before, and I liked it, but I just never really found use for a 5-wood.
But again, that makes total sense. Maximum speed, hitting down on it, put a 5-wood in with a strong lofted face, and you've found a great golf club to hit a fairway.
Yeah.
It makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, so I've loved it. That's probably been my favorite club for sure that I've been hitting for the past 9-10 months since I got it.
So this should be pretty easy. It's just going to be getting you into a QI 10.
Yep.
We could go a hair softer in the shaft, I think.
If anything, that's kind of
the miss.
I mean, I don't miss left, which I guess sometimes can be a good thing, but can be a little bit annoying.
But look at that attack angle,
yeah.
Down 5.6. And that's all it is. It's just a hair steep.
Yeah, I hit 2 down on my driver.
How good's that?
As good as I can hit it.
That's filth.
I mean, that's me just trying to be a little less steep. I don't know if it's a good or a bad thing, like that I'm here in kind of one of those heat reset days, just like getting back to some of the basics that I work on, because this is, when my tendencies pop up, this is
what you see.
What we see. A little bit
steep.
This,
by the way, I think wherever you're getting your information from or what you're watching, 5.2 down on a 3-iron, not perfect. I mean, it's in the realm of perfect for sure. If you were down 8, I might be like, but you've got so much speed that the more down you go, the more backspin you create. The more backspin you create, the straighter that golf shot goes. You know, if you were standing here and you were telling me I'm going to be a long drive guy, I might question that attack angle.
Yeah.
But you want to be a tour player, and you've got mountains of speed. Like Garcia, top 3 drivers I've ever seen, down 2 on the driver every time. The day I got with him, and you know, that's where he was at. Rory usually lives like 3 degrees up, 2 degrees up, and hits it miles, but he's not as tall as you. It's not wrong, you know what I mean? If anyone told you it was wrong, looking at those ball flights, they'd be an idiot. So Tiger, with this launch monitor, the #1 thing he said is he needs carry to be on the button. It's a big 3-iron.
Maybe that's, I was gonna say, maybe that's why I'm flying greens.
It would make a bit of sense. It's a light bulb moment there. 271. I'm stood here thinking, like, what in your game is so far not got you, like...
Keeping the ball in play, and then wedge distance control.
Okay.
Usually with driver.
Injuries. Yeah. The ideal fit and the way you do it on tour is to look at this and listen and watch it and then see what's going on. Like, ultimately, we're going to say a driver should have a bit more loft than what it needs for you looking at this. But we only get that because we know your schedule, we know where you're playing, we know the fairways, we know where your problems are.
Yeah.
We would never hot melt a driver now in the heel because he doesn't like, he said a few times, I don't hit left, I don't do this, I don't do that. I could do a lot to lose the one to the right, but I guarantee you, if you're stood there and you're panicking, you want to see the flail to the right.
Yeah. Well, at least I know I can pay for it in tournaments.
Exactly. So why would I make a driver that doesn't do that?
Yeah.
But without those conversations and that information, it can be damaging,
Yeah.
you know? Well, let's see this go. Tee height wise, is that where you live?
Yeah.
Under pressure, is that where you live?
A little lower.
Okay. Still over the blue, it might even get on the road, so we might have to move in a minute, but let's start there and see. Okay. So did you get a heel miss often or not?
I mean, that is my miss.
But slightly out of heel.
Yeah.
You see you got the 3 on the hill, the tall ones, I'll put you in the middle of the 3.
Okay.
You might need to move that ball left of those divots if you want. So here's the deal. I'm going to tell you it like warts and all. And this is going to sound crazy, but this is where you have to sort of own this situation. So that's fine, but it's slightly inefficient. I mean, it's launch low, it's spun high, all things you've heard of. Everything I would expect it to be this time of year, playing tight golf courses, wanting to hit it in play.
Yeah.
So we have option number 1, which is this head, 1 click higher. This is going to be similar loft to what you play. This is what I touched on with you before. This is where if you were swinging it like this when you bowled up and were like, okay, I just need a fresh look, that would be where I would go. Then we got other options beyond that, but let's start here. So notice how straight out the gate, the miss is high and spinny. You're up, I'm gonna let you adjust to it. I'm gonna give you 3 shots first before I say any more. It's a bit Martin Keimer-ish when he got to world number 1, by the way. He was 175 ball speed, so he got 15 mile an hour more.
Oh my God.
So Keimer would hit it like this when he got to world number 1, and basically he was 15 mile an hour shorter and he'd move it more than that. And the driver he would want would be what I'm about to do for you here. So ultimately, and you saw what happened to him, he tried to change the ball flight that he hit. So if I give you that now, which is the smaller head, less loft, this will come out still at 7, but it'll probably spin at 2,900, 3,000. So that to you as a player, you're going to be like, oh, hang on, it sounds a bit more thuddy. It's not spinning as much. I mean, that's spun at 2,200. So if I get the total on it, it's 323. Hit one more just because you're probably getting a feel for it. So if you wanted to leave today, chuck us that, with a driver that I'd have the confidence to be like, oh, tournament starts tomorrow, your driver's cracked, we'd keep working on this head. I'm gonna just put a pinch more loft on this. Okay, that's awesome. At least we've found like the limit, go again. Do you know what I mean? I hate, if we're at the kingdom like this, I wanna see the other way at some point. And you never hit that. So that shows that we're getting in a different place here. Only got 1 number on there now, okay? So club path still left. The number I'm gonna focus on now though is launch angle. Launch it at 10. Do whatever you gotta do to launch it at 10. Over the trees, over the palm trees. So 10.6, face to path 1.5 open, the left 2.9 as you can see here, 332. How did that feel?
That was good.
That's the golf flight that I prefer to see. Bit knuckly, we got to change that. But you see now you've moved your launch to 11.4.
Yeah.
So now you're giving me more room to go stronger loft. So the loft impacts the smash. So if you play less loft, like Rory hits so up on it because he can get away with playing no loft. Now when he plays no loft, the efficiency of the club is quicker. When the efficiency of the club is quicker, you can hit it further. So you miss slightly and we get some funny spin numbers because of the speed. It was good, 327 total.
It's just so left.
So much start left. Too much start left for you, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's probably more my swing.
Yeah. I think you are swinging left on everything a lot, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's a case of how much do I go down this avenue of trying to change it? Like if this was off season now, I'd put a stick out in front and I'd be like, you got to be starting it right at the stick, you got to be hitting draws.
Yeah.
But I don't know if I really want to go down that route just because of where we're at. So my next option is to go slightly softer in the golf shaft, let you adjust to this. I think you do need to embrace the tee height a little bit, but in terms of the driver head, I mean, this is probably where it's at. So that is slightly softer in the shaft.
Yeah, it felt good.
Not as hard a work for you. This is a carbon copy almost of a Keimer when he had the ping driver and came over to the TaylorMade driver. Down left, he would launch at your height, spin it a bit more to the right with 15 mile an hour less speed, but hit every fairway on the planet. So the only thing we did was give him a golf shaft that was a hair softer in the tip section. And then the rest is history. He went on and won the PGA. And because you're a tournament player, I wouldn't talk to you right now in July about the right, starting right and drawing it. Look at that. But I guarantee you, Mason, if I stood here with you in the off season and we worked on starting it right and drawing it and launching it at 10, 11, you would hit it. I mean, you've hit it 326 consistently. And when you miss, you get, like that was a bit domey, that was 1800.
Okay.
So there's plenty more yardage in here, but you're a bit shackled by time of year, basically.
Yeah.
You're working on the right things.
Yeah. I
think you need to push the boundaries a bit more.
Yeah.
You haven't had one where the path has been to the right yet.
Yeah.
Or even close to neutral.
I'm hoping that was closer.
1900 spin, it's got to be because it's 13.1 launch. And then we look at the path, still -3. Tack angle 0.
Okay.
But again, these are all things. So I'm going to put these 4 digits back on now because I think the fitting is pretty much done. So you'll see it on your full swing here.
I wouldn't mind that being the miss.
12.7, well done. We've raised it up. 310 carry. 2100, I can live with that. 190 ball speed, 4.2 left still, but 0.2 up on the attack angle. That's the key one, the 0.2 up. Okay. So basically, those swings now, if we give you a player to sort of focus on and think about, you've gone from Martin Keimer shots to that last swing was more Adam Scottish. But that's more where you need to be.
Yeah.
And they're the numbers in a practice session that I would focus on. Would be path, face to path, launch, and attack angle.
Embrace
you
it
tee it freaking low.
Yeah.
Like, and I get it, but you've got, by the way, which is brilliant, you've got into a massive tour player, competitive player mentality. That's why you tee it, how you tee it.
Yeah.
You're leaving 15 yards on the table. But at 190 ball speed, I'd be leaving 15 yards on the table too because you're quicker than everyone else. But that's domey, you know what I mean? It's not carrying as far as it needs. It hit the upslope. So with that shaft being softer, that hangs in. And the hang in, got a hard bounce, but the hang in, so the high spin on that with your other shaft might have been 3100. With that, it's 2700.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, miss feels better.
But that's kind of, for tournament players, that's kind of what we're working on is what's the miss. But again, you got your launch down to 8, and we haven't had one of these yet. That's 3.2 left again. You've got a 3-iron that goes close to the mini driver. As your swing gets a hair more efficient, that gap's going to get wider.
Yeah.
It's just the way you swing it. Hear me right, there's nothing, it's brilliant. It's awesome, really good. And people have got to world #1 swinging it worse than this with less speed. So there's so much value being a proper player, being able to say, out of however many balls we've hit, I can see the shot count, 1 has gone left. I mean, that's awesome. I could stand here and hit you 50 left and 50 right. It's horrific. But this is proper.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I get it. It's nice to be able to hit it both ways, but your superpowers lie in the speed. You've hit a miss hit that's carried 292. Okay. But I mean, these boys don't hit their best every time. The answers lie in what you said earlier. The answers lie in lots of time with the wedges.
Yeah.
That's what I think. Can it be a little better? Yes. But that conversation happens in November, December, with a good fitter and whoever's working with you on your golf swing. And you carefully do it, because I've seen too many players try and change it and screw it up. If we're looking at your data, your clip data, your game, your blueprint, There is so much more in those 3 wedges than what's in this. Do you see how the fitting works? You build the picture of what the player is, and you can actually look at stuff and see a couple of numbers. The only question I really had to ask is like, and I was getting it from him, like, I don't want to miss left. I'd be spewing. Because if you start this work in the winter, you could put all this internal weight down the heel of this golf club, and you could just start seeing this ball flight go like that. But come March next year, when he stands in his first tournament and there's crap on the left and they announce your name on the tee and you've got to hit driver, that's going to be uncomfortable. Don't want to hit that shot. You know what I mean? We give you a slightly softer option. I mean, to be fair, I'll regrip that. You can take that with you. That club, I'll just check the swing weight. I'll get your grip on it. But that's your, I'm not doing amazing, I'm a bit steep option. Then you've got the other head that you do 1 click higher with this shaft as an option. And then, of course, you've got the gamer, which, if there's big tournaments coming up, just play the gamer.
Yeah.
Because this is actually your secret weapon. I mean, you say the driver is, but I bet this thing is just hunts.
Yeah, whenever the driver's not good, I mean, just hit that.
But it's a shame because then you're bringing yourself closer to guys at 170 ball speed when you don't need to.
Yeah.
Wedges and chipping. And again, let's get you back here in like November, December, and it's a very different, like I would push a lot harder to see different shapes.
Yeah.
But again, it's got to be managed, it's got to be schedule based, and it's got to be, because I've seen players just disappear after doing that, you know.
Okay.
Let me grip that,
all right,
swing weight that, and then we'll go from there. Legend.
Appreciate your time.
Thanks, mate. All right, so this is a 9 degree. It's got a 2 degree sleeve on it, so it's going to come out a bit flatter. It's the LS model. I did put a cheeky bit of hot melt, which I wasn't going to tell you about, I ended up telling you, in the heel slightly, but only 2 grams to get it to a D3 swing weight. Ventus TR Blue 7X 1-inch tip. The total length of this on a USGA ruler, I think, was 45.5. It's a multi-compound Golf Pride, white and black with 2 papers on there, and this thing is going to be hunting.